Man and Cybernetics SMC Society chapter of IEEE Delhi section, Communication Society of IEEE Delhi section, Consultants Network Affinity CNA Group of IEEE Delhi section, Life Member Affinity LMA Group of IEEE Delhi section, Inter-Society Relations IRS Standing Committee of IEEE Delhi section, Industry Relations and Special Interest Group on Humanitarian Technology, Site Standing Committees of IEEE Delhi section, Region 10 of IEEE with the Associations of Computer Society of India, Institute of Information Technology Professionals IITP, ISTE Delhi section and IETE Delhi Center as technical collaborators. Welcome you all to the IEEE IETE BVICAM technical lecture series on business value maximization by data-driven decisions. According to Masayoshi Son, data-driven decisions are the future and the future is already here. This indicates that data-driven decision-making is increasingly prevalent and necessary in today's business landscape. Data is with the advent of digitalization, data is growing exponentially every year with an annual growth rate of almost 61%. Today, data is constantly generated by gadgets like smartphones, wearable electronics, smart home devices, and the internet-dependent lifestyle. The data needs to be effectively collected, stored, transformed, and finally analyzed so that the businesses can derive insights out of it. These insights help business teams to take informed decisions. How the companies maximize their business values and become more customer focused and competitive. Whether the business companies make effective use of this data to gain a competitive advantage is what all we shall be discussing today in this session. We'll see how data has grown over the period and how companies can effectively manage this data to derive the insight so that they can take informed decisions. This webinar today will discuss the all-round perspective, including the real-time issues and challenges around this topic. I will first take this opportunity to welcome amongst us our distinguished panelists for the day. We are privileged to have amongst us a galaxy of experts. I would first request Professor M.N. Hoda sir, Director, Bharati Vidyapeeth's Institute of Computer Applications and Management, BVICAM, and Executive Vice Chairperson, IEEE Delhi section, to address the participants with his inspiring words. Over to you, Huda sir.
Yeah, Dr. Ritika, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So good evening, one and all. And it's my privilege to welcome you all. And at the outset, especially the today's valued speaker, Dr. Viral Gupta ji from Nagaron. Dear friends, as all of you know, that this webinar series was started way back in June 2020 in the backdrop of COVID-19. And today we are having 153rd edition of this technical lecture series, which is known as IEEE, IET, CSI, BVICAM, Saturday evening webinar series. Friends, the today's topic which has been decided is business value maximization by data-driven decisions. Many of you who keep on attending our webinars are aware that we keep on deciding topics based on its significance and relevance in today's time. And all of us know that any significant uses of the technology can drastically change our business value, can drastically change the way we wanted to achieve the target. So continuing that particular objective, the today's topic is that how can we maximize the business value with the help of data decision or data driven decision. And it is as good as normally we say in the domain of search strategy that it could be a blind search, it could be an informed search. Blind search, you have no clue but is still searching. And informed search, you have all possible heuristics available, and then you are going to take decision. Exactly in the same way, it is said that the data-driven decision will primarily be based on facts, will be based on matrices, and the kind of the input which we have out of the data will primarily be utilized to guide business decisions that may be facilitating to align our goals, objectives, and initiatives. And friends, organizations that effectively make use of the modern data management platforms and leverage the data for innovations, scaling up their business objectives, data-driven decision making result in improved effectiveness, reduced risk, high productivity, and cost saving. Why? Because we get insights, the real life insights into the system, into the process, because of having the input from the data. That is the today's objective with which we are here. And with this objective, we have invited Dr. Viral to enlighten us that to which extent the people can take advantage of the data-driven decisions for the purpose of maximizing the business value. So thank you so much to all of you for having joined us from various parts of the country and abroad. And we are sure that these deliberations will be of immense use to each one of you. And dear friends, Dr. Ritika might have told you that in coming months, within the same year, 2024, we are organizing two conferences. One is ICSSR sponsored conference on Viksit Bharat during 13th, 14th September. And the another is our Delcon, the IEEE Delcon, the flagship conference of IEEE. Those who are interested can submit paper in that. Thank you so much. Keep attending our webinars, because once you attend the webinar, it keeps on motivating us. And that's a matter of encouragement to all of us. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. God bless you all. Keep learning despite all round disruptions, and keep sharing our information with your friends, with your colleagues, so that they can also attend this program. And those who could not attend, for your information, we record our lecture, and the entire recording of this lecture is available to those who wanted to stream it at any later time. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. Over to you, Dr. Ritika.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, with this, I now welcome amongst us our expert speaker, Dr. Viral Gupta, sir, with an e-bouquet. So welcome to the session.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Viral Gupta, sir, has over 25 years of industry experience, having worked with companies like Accenture, DXC Technology, etc. He is currently working as director at Nagarro and leads global practice for data engineering and analytics. His extensive experience with digital transformation, delivery leadership, and technology has helped in setting up large-scale practices and delivery accounts in global technology companies. He has filed 2 patents and has published several research papers in Scopus Index journals. I welcome you today to the session.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, so I'll start. So first of all, I would like to. It's great meeting Doctor. It's great meeting Huda sir and Ritika ma'am. After I guess 2 years, probably I delivered a talk 2 years ago, and I would like to thank you and also Mr. Ajay to give me an opportunity to deliver this talk. So let me start with my topic. So quickly, as you have already introduced me, Dr. Deepika, I'll just quickly talk about my industry experience. I have close to about 3 decades of experience in IT industry, currently working as a partner and director in Nagarro, leading data engineering and advanced analytics practice globally. In terms of education experience, you have already told, Dr. Ritika. I'll just go ahead. So yes, so I'll directly start my topic, which is maximizing the business value by making data-driven decisions. So I'll like to divide this topic into four key concepts. The first one is data.
Viral, sorry. Yeah. So there's a message that if you can be a bit louder, actually. So two,
Oh,
four,
okay,
and bit.
sure. Is my voice better now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I would like to divide this topic into four key parts. One is the data. Second is the data analytics. We have a lot of data, as Huda mentioned. Data is everywhere. It's being generated by the transaction systems, by social media, by machines. There are petabytes, exabytes of the data available. So we have that data, we process that data, we analyze that data, we call that process as data analytics. And once we analyze that data, then we make decisions out of that data. And those decisions help us to maximize our business value. So in my upcoming slides, I will open up all of these four parts. So first of all, talk about data-driven decisions. What are these decisions? Why do we need data to make these decisions? So I'll just talk about, and throughout my presentation, I have taken very simple examples. I'm not taking any complex examples from our complex projects, but yes, I've tried to make it very simple. So we know decisions are being done across all the industries, right? And let me just take an example from our personal life. We make decisions every day in our personal life. So this is an example. Let's say if you're planning a vacation, if you want to go somewhere. So first of all, we need to choose a destination, which place we want to go, whether we want to go within India or outside India. What is the climate, what is the weather of that place, right? We also want to know what are the travel documents that are required. Do we need a visa? Do we need an insurance? There are few countries that have specific requirements in terms of vaccination. We want to check the place that we are going. Is it secured? How safe is that place? What is the political situation in that place? So we do all these kind of research. What is the costing of that place that we are going to? And then we also do a lot of research about, if we have selected our destination, then how we are going to reach that destination. Are we going to take a airline or a rail or a bus? What are the schedules? What are the timings for these carriers? What are the availabilities? What are the pricing? How much baggage we can take? Baggage is one of the key decisions. What are the reviews that are available? We also do a lot of research about hotel, where we want to stay. What are the pricing of these hotels? What are the categories? What review ratings people have given them? So we do all this research, and then of course, when we go there, we want to do shopping? Do we want to do activities? Do we want to play sports? What are the reviews of that place? So all these things we do, right? And if you see this slide, so this is all the application landscape that we have. From the first step where it is mentioned inspiration. Inspiration is the stage when we start thinking to go somewhere, right? That's a place where we get an idea. So in that phase, we do a lot of search, right? Google and a lot of search engine we do. From that place, we do booking. We book our tickets using Make My Trip, using Expedia, using Booking.com. We do a lot of preparations. We talk about airport. We use launch in the airport. Then there are in-flight program. We want to see what are the entertainment program in the in-flight. What is the meals that are available? And then once we arrive at the destination, then there are places. Then there are car rentals, taxis, and finally at a destination we need to do a lot of activities in a hotel. And finally, when we do all these things, then we come back and then we post a lot of reviews. We review hotel operators, we give reviews for various people that we have interacted. So this is just one example from our life, and if we see the landscape, the data landscape, it's huge. There are hundreds of applications out there. There are various data touch points where data is generated. Now, this data is generated and we use and people use this data to make decisions, right? So I just wanted to give that example from the travel industry. There are a few more examples. I'll not go into the detail, but let's say if you are buying a car, then you do a lot of search for buying a car. If you're selecting a college, you need to see what are the rankings of the college, what are the faculties available there. If you are selecting a telecom operator, Airtel versus, for example, Vodafone. If you're buying an e-commerce product, you're buying a laptop, it's a Dell versus this. So everywhere, every industry, every place, wherever we go, we make a decision. And that decision, for that decision, input is required, that is data. So let me just talk about data. Now, data, if you talk about data is a new oil, it is everywhere. Whatever we do, we generate data. And I would like to say broadly, we can divide data in three categories. The first one is the transaction data. So for example, we buy a product from Amazon, right? Then we are a customer, we buy a product. So that's a product. When we purchase a product, that becomes an order. And after that, there are operations. So this is all transactional data. And this data is stored as a transactional data, and this is generally stored in relational databases. And there's another kind of data that is a social media data. So this data basically captures customer sentiments, because we write a lot of opinions, we write a lot of blogs, reviews. So these are the various sites that we have under this category. And then we have data that is generated from machines, right? We wear Apple Watch, or there are several data that is generated by medical devices in in hospitals and in medical industry. The data is generated through IoT devices. The data is generated through videos that are installed in malls and various places. So this data basically track customer behavior. So these are various kinds of data that we have today. And this is just one example of one of the projects that we did some time back. So as you can see on the picture that there is a mall and there is a video that are installed, and the real-time video feed is getting processed. And there are models that run on the devices, and they based on and these models basically on the right-hand side, if you can see, they can generate insights. They can let us know what are the number of footfalls, how many people are coming into the mall on daily basis, what is the gender division, right? And if the people are coming, this model can also roughly estimate what is the age of the people who are coming in. The models can also tell us what is the mood of that person. The person is happy or sad. So this kind of thing the data analytics can help us identify this, and this can help retailers to draw insights that okay, so many people are coming. Let's say 40% males are coming of this age. Based on that, they can take some decisions. A few interesting facts about the data. The data has volume, velocity, and variety. So when we say volume, as I said earlier, the data is being generated through machines, through uh, social media, and the data is in petabytes, exabytes. The data is huge. Velocity, the data is getting generated on real-time basis from streaming devices. And there's a variety of the data. Earlier, the data was relational data, structured data, but now the data can be images, videos, sounds. So there can be different variety of the data. The second point says that the data can be structured, semi-structured, unstructured, which I talked about. And the third point talks about the size of the data that is being generated on any single day. You can see the number of zeros that are there. And if you see 80% of the data that is currently generated, it's unstructured. As I took the example of a mall where we have a video that is capturing the videos. So similarly, unstructured data, if you see images and text, so that's the 80% of the data of the total data. And whatever data we have today, in last 3 years, 90% of the data of the total data have been generated in last 3 years. So the explosion of the data has happened only in last 3 years. And most of the companies are able to analyze only 12% of the data. The rest, 88% of the data goes unanalyzed. I'll talk about data analytics. So once we have this data, the three kinds of data that I mentioned, we collect that data, we process that data, and we analyze that data. Now, data analytics, these are the three major categories of the data analytics. The first one is the descriptive analytics, which basically talks about what has happened. So for example, we have ordered a phone from Amazon. We have ordered Apple phone. So the organizations like Apple, they want to see, okay, how many sales that have happened last month. So that means what has happened. The second kind of analytics is predictive. So based on the data that we have today, organizations want to know what would be the sales next month, next year, right? So that's the second kind of analytics. The third is the prescriptive, which basically suggests some course of action. So for example, these kind of models can tell, for example, in the retail industry, can suggest retailers to pair two products together and then put a promotion over that. So for example, they can say that, okay, you can have a phone and a screen guard together, and then you can say that if you pair them, then there will be a discount on a screen guard, for example, or a phone on that. So this is how these kind of models can suggest some course of action. Talking about the data analytics process at a high level. So first, let me just talk about the right side of the screen. If you see that the first step is to collect the data, the various kinds of data that we have. And now this data can come from various sources. It can come from your transactional data sources, your ERP packages. It can come from your social media like Facebook. It can come from your streaming devices, IoT devices. So we need to collect that data using, we build ELT and ETL pipelines. We store that data into data lake, for example, data warehouse. Now we can use, in terms of data lake, we can store it in any cloud, for example, AWS, Azure, or GCP. And then we do data processing on it. We process that data, we clean that data, because data quality is one of the key concerns these days. Because data, if you're getting the data from various sources, the formats of the data that you're getting from various sources may not be the same. So you may want to you may want to standardize the data. There may be a lot of missing values in the data. There may be a lot of noise in the data. So you want to process that data. And then once you cleanse the data, then basically we model the data. We do data modeling, data warehousing. We build a lot of AML models over here. And once we do that, then we get insights. And from the insights, businesses can decisions, and then we optimize the process. So that's the high level process. And on the left hand side, you see there's a pyramid. On the bottom, we have big data technology, data management, and integration, which collects and stores the data. Once we have the data, then there are descriptive use cases, which is like reports and business intelligence. And on top of it, we have predictive and prescriptive, which means advanced analytics and the data science use cases. As you go up the pyramid, then it is required to have more and more customer knowledge, customer context, domain expertise, and more innovation is required to go up the pyramid. Now, coming, till now, I've talked about data, I've talked about data processing, data analytics, I've talked about data-driven decisions. And once organizations take those data decisions, and this is how they maximize their value. They can increase revenue. Uda sir also mentioned in the beginning, they can reduce cost, they can improve efficiencies, and then they can manage their assets in a better way. Overall, the goal is to increase customer satisfaction and to increase the quality of the product or services that are being delivered to the customer. So let me talk about 2-3 case studies that we have done. I'll just take a few examples from our actual projects. And these case studies will be in line to what I've spoken till now. So first one is customer analytics. So before going into customer analytics, just let me just first talk about the customer life cycle. So on this slide, as you can see that there are 5 major steps of customer life cycle. The first one is awareness. That means, let's say if you're buying the laptop, then organizations who basically sell laptop, they want their product to become aware, right, to the general public. So on the left hand side, as you can see that they would like to do a lot of PR activities. They would like to put a lot of ads on TV, radio, print, online ads. They will put up ads on YouTube, Amazon. So a lot of ads they will put up there, right? So what customers will do, they will go through these ads, and then and there are several products available in the market, right? So the customer will compare these products which are available in the market, right? If I am buying a laptop now, there are several possibilities. I can buy Dell laptop, I can buy a Mac, or I can buy a Asus laptop, right? So there are means. So consideration is a phase where customer evaluates company products. They see what are the pros and cons, and then they decide one. In the next phase, the customer makes her mind, and then she or he purchases that product, right? Customer buys a customer product. And once the customer buys that product, then companies want to retain that customer. Companies want to provide customer service. So there are various community forums. Let's say if there is issue in any customer product in laptop, then we reach out to their call centers or service centers, right? So that's how organization want to retain the customer. And finally, there's the advocacy phase. So if I buy a Apple Watch, for example, and I like it, I will tell people that, you know, Apple Watch is, is a great watch. Please buy this, right? So we advocate the products if we are happy about it. So this is a general life cycle of a customer. And now let me talk about customer analytics. So customer analytics is very important for any organization, because organization, whether the organization is in a product, whether they are selling a product or they are into a services business, customer analytics is very important, because organization want to identify the needs of their customer. They want to understand the customer, and once they understand their customer, it will help them to increase their revenue, to reduce their cost, and to improve their customer experience. And how do they do that? So they do that by collecting the data. And the data is available, everywhere. So they collect the demographics data of a customer. They collect the behavioral data of a customer. You know, a uh, customer is entering his or her opinion, his or her needs, desires through social media. So they are collecting those data. There's the interaction data. We talk to call center. We write some emails and chats. We do a lot of actions on websites. So the web click stream. So and then the finally customer analyzes the transaction data. Transaction is the actual transaction data when we buy a product, right? So organizations collect all this data, and they analyze this data, and this will help them to better cross-sell and upsell their products. So for example, you know, there's a customer who is buying a phone. They can, you know, say that, okay, this customer is recently buy a phone, then let's give this customer ads for screen guards, right? So similarly, upselling. If there is a customer who has bought a ticket for US and the person is going on economic class, then organizations can see the customer profile, and if everything is suitable, then organizations can offer him a business class with a discounted price. So that's upselling. This also helps organizations to do personalized marketing efforts. So let's say if I want to buy something on internet, then Amazon and Flipkart, they will just give me ads only related to my interest, right? It help organizations to retain customers. It also helps organizations to provide a better customer service. So what we have done is, this is one of the projects that we have done for US-based American apparel company. It has 13 plus brands in footwear, apparels, and bags. It's a $1 billion company. It has more than 10,000 retail outlets, and they are selling their products online and offline. Now, their requirement was they wanted to know, they wanted to understand the insights, what are the sales, cost, and margin, how they are trending year over year or a month over month. They want to understand what are the top products, what are the bottom products. They want to know their regional sales. They wanted to know their store level sale, which store is doing good. They wanted to understand The opportunities where they don't have a retail store and where there's a possibility of tapping more customers. They wanted to see how their channels are performing, like online channels in terms of marketing. They want to see how their sales are doing in terms of inventory. Are they overstocking or understocking? So these all insights they wanted to know. So what we have done is we have collected the data. So this is a data engineering, data management. This is a data management basically a logical architecture of what we have done for them. We have collected the data from various sources. As you can see, Oracle, SQL Server, SAP. So from different sources, we have collected the data. We have ingested this data into a data lake. We have created a data warehouse using a Snowflake, which is a cloud-based data warehousing platform. And then on top of it, we have built various reports using Tableau and Looker with various tools. So what this is the outcome, once we did the last slide. So this is the outcome that we got. Now this looks simple, but the data engineering activity and the data management activity behind the scenes took us about 6 months to implement this. And this is just a one report, but we have built more than 100 reports for this customer. As you can see, let me just quickly talk about the KPIs that you can see. So on the left hand side, you can see the sales for this customer is 1,223. The target was 921. So that means that they have achieved 133% of target this year. Then you can see on the left hand side, the middle of the screen, there is a chart which shows the products and how they are doing. Right, there are 5 products here, and there's a black line which shows whether this product is above target or below target. So the first 2 products are blue in color, and they are passing the black mark. That means that they have done uh, above their target, but the third product is not done above the target. So third product is not performing well. So this basically sent alerts to the management of the company, and they want to identify why this product 3 is not doing good. Similarly, there is another KPI, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, sales growth. Generally, you can see that the sales growth is in positive, but in the month of November, it's dropping. So what is the reason for that? Management wants to know that. Now, this is just a single report I have taken, but there are a lot of drill downs that happen. So what is the drill down? So let's say in the previous example, I said this is a product which is not doing good. So management can drill down and see what is happening. What is the sale of this product across various stores? Is it something to do with the store? Why the sale of this product, why the demand of this product is going down? So there are a lot of elaborative reports that can be seen here. Now, another interesting KPI is inventory days outstanding. So this is basically for how long your inventory is outstanding and it is not being sold, right? So the target was 33, but currently it's 42. So it means your inventory is lying in a warehouse for 42 days and it's not being sold. So it's also not a healthy sign. So these are the reports which management requires, and they do a lot of analysis on this report, and they take this gives them a lot of insight, and then based on that they take a lot of decisions. Now, let me quickly now turn to another use case, which is the marketing analytics use case. So marketing analytics is the practice of using data to evaluate the effectiveness and success of the marketing activities. So generally, marketing analytics and customer analytics, they are very close to each other. As you can see in the picture on the left-hand side, there's a customer life cycle, as we talked about one of the slides earlier, from awareness to retention. And if you see on the right-hand side of this image, so for every stage of a customer life cycle, there are channels and there's a typical metric. So the first was awareness, how customer is making, how organizations are making them aware. So their different channels are like social media, display, ads. So these all are marketing components, right? Marketing helps basically in the customer life stage of awareness. And the typical metric is what is the reach, how many customers they are reaching to, how many customers they are engaging. Similarly, if you go down, there are several matrices like conversion, how many customers are getting converted, how many customers they are getting engaged. So this is how marketing analytics is closely related to the customer analytics. Now, the use of marketing analytics is that because there is a lot of money that goes into marketing. Marketing is one of the major head that takes a lot of cost. So companies want to understand that what is the effectiveness of that marketing investment. So using this, they want to understand the campaign effectiveness. For example, this is Diwali campaign, right? That we always get a lot of discounts there. So that's a campaign, and the company has to provide a lot of discounts for that. But so they want to know, okay, whatever investment they have done on the various channels, marketing channels, so what is the sales they are getting? So that's the first one. The second is the product intelligence. Using this marketing analytics, they can understand how their products are doing, how the competitor products are doing, right? So those kind of things company can know. The third one is customer trends and preferences. They get to know with this kind of analytics, how ads are doing, which kind of ads are better, which kinds of ads are resonating well with the client. I think my sharing broke. Uh, Let me
Yes,
again
sir.
share my,
Sharing has stopped.
yeah. Let me just again share my. Please let me know if you're able to see.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, right. So let me just take an example from one of the projects that we did for a US-based customer. Now, this is a client which manufactures smart home lighting, and they sells also this lighting products. They do for B2B and B2C channel. B2B means that they sell it to various organizations. B2C means they also sell this lighting product to the direct to the end users. Now, let's see the table below. So that table says that this company basically uses these channels, as you can say, Google Display, digital publishers like Amazon Display. So this company uses these channels to advertise, and they spend a lot of money on these channels. So, for example, on the third column, as you can see, percentage of marketing spend. For example, on Google Display, this company has spent about 1 million, right? And Amazon Display, this company has spent over 390K. Now, the this is the marketing spend on those marketing activities on these channels. And then what also we have is what is the sales contribution. So let me just quickly go down and see. There's a 20. If you see, total sale is 26 million. And then out of this 26 million, 9 million is basically is coming because of the marketing spend that they are doing. And, and this is all a part of analytics. So we get data, marketing data, what all channels do we have? We get various, people are using those ads, people are seeing those ads, people are clicking those, right, ads. So we are getting all the Google Ads data, all the data from these channels, right? And then we do this analysis that, okay, out of 26 million, 9 million is coming because we have spent on these channels. So this project we have already done for that, and you can see that, and we are able to give them the insight that out of 26 million, 9 million is because of the marketing activities, and we have also broken that price that because you have spent, and 206K is coming because you have invested 1 million on this channel. So this is how we have done. We have analyzed that this is how your contribution is. Now, in the second phase, the organization asked us that, okay, that's fine that you have told us this is how various channels are contributing, but how can we optimize that, right? Then we did in the second phase, what we did is that we analyzed this data further, and then we said that in 2022 you were having these many investments, and then this is the total, for example, sale you are getting 5.7 million. Now we said that instead in 2023, what you should do is you should invest 65K instead of 1 million. You should drop your investment in this channel, right? So that's how we give them the we gave them various plan. We gave them the complete plan that this is how you need to do for this channel. You can increase your investment, you can decrease your investment. For example, in Amazon search, we said that in last time you spent 430K, but this time you should spend it 50K. And then we said that if you go with this plan, then you will end up spending 5 million opposed to 5.7 million that you had spent last year, but you will get 12.6 million of sales instead of 9.5 million sales that you have got last year. So that's how we do the analytics, and that's the power of analytics. That's the power of the data that we give to the organization. Quickly moving to the next use case, which probably would be the last use case. This is a supply chain analytics. So this is another important use case, and this is one of the main area that cuts across all the industries, be it healthcare, be it automobile, be it retail. So what is supply chain? It's basically producing and delivering a product or service from the first stage of the sourcing the material to the final delivery to the end users. On the right hand side, if you see, this is a quick process that we have a raw material. Now the raw material is basically supplied to suppliers, and there are several suppliers. I'll just illustrate it using this example. And from that, it goes to the manufacturer. Manufacturer basically produces the product, which goes to the distributor, and then finally it goes to consumer through retailer. On the left hand side, you can see this is just an example that, let's say if you're talking about a car, there is a raw material like steel, aluminum. This goes to the tier one supplier, basically that makes components like transmission, brakes, seats, and they go into the tier two supplier, which makes further suspension chassis, which go to a manufacturer, which basically creates a car. It could be Toyota, Ford. Finally, it goes to the dealer network, from which we buy a car, right? This is entire cycle in a supply chain process. And this is one of the projects that we have done. This is one of the processes that we have done for a global automotive car company, which provides software solutions for dealers and buyers. It covers all the aspects of supply chain, which include suppliers, dealers, and customers. There are thousands of suppliers and dealers that use this solution. And if you see, these are the key requirements for that organization. They wanted to understand what is the customer demand. They wanted to predict what is the demand, how many cars the customer will buy. This is important because based on this thing, they want to hold the inventory. They don't want to, understock or overstock. And this is done based on the past data, current scenario. The second important requirement is because they are buying the raw materials, they're procuring that raw material. They want to understand what kind of raw materials they need to buy, how much to buy, from where to buy, because there are several suppliers which can supply the products to this organization. But it's important to understand the performance of these suppliers. So that's why this analytics become very important. And then in the inventory, they wanted to know how much to keep, how much inventory, what is the optimal level of inventory to keep, right? Because in cars are generally required to be stored in warehouses, which are big in sizes. So that's why this decision becomes important. And finally, the logistics, because let's say they want to ship cars in large trucks. They want to optimize the routes these trucks are taking. Fuel management is very important. This is the area that can save them lot of money, right? So these were the major requirements that they wanted us to do, and we have built a accelerator for them. We called it Supply View, basically that takes data from various sources. And this data is coming from various suppliers, various manufacturers, logistic partner, retailer, and the database could be OLTP, DP, ERPs, weblogs, and this data is being ingested into this engine, Supply View engine. And in this, we have a data lake, data warehouse, we have a supply chain enterprise data model, which is a dimensional model, which is built over Snowflake. And based on that, we generated lot of KPIs and dashboards for this customer. And these insights are in the area of, as we saw in the previous slide, demand, supply, procurement, logistics, and these are given to the customer. What this accelerator does is that this accelerator provided the customer faster time to market. So rather than they have to build this from scratch, this product already was available. Second is it provided a lot of cost and effort saving to the customer. And finally, this was a performant and a scalable accelerator. This was one of the output screen that we had. And there are a lot of KPIs, as you can see, perfect order. Now, in supply chain, perfect order is very important. It tells about, what is the percentage of the order that has been delivered on time with good quality. As you can see, this report, this currently says that it's 86%, right? But the target was 94%. So it means that uh, organization want to see that why there is a drop in this, right? Why we are lagging behind. So this is a matter of concern. And as I said earlier, that there are a lot of drill down the reports. They can go inside it. They can see, what are the reasons of this perfect order, not coming as per expected. Similarly, there are other matrices like cash to cash cycle, which is like, as you can see, 41, which is okay. This is customer order cycle. This is the time between order placement and order delivery. There's a fill rate, which tells about percentage of the orders. This is percentage of customer orders company can fulfill without running out of inventory. So this is also important because so currently it says there's a 86% of a fill rate. So it means how many orders I have, I can fulfill 86% of them with my current inventory. So this is how, customer want to understand all the KPIs in a supply chain board. This is just one snapshot, but this helps them to take a lot of decisions. Yeah, with that, I have come to the end of my presentation. So that I can take questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful, enlightening session. I'm sure this enlightening session has enlightened the participants about the real scenario. However, we have a few questions by the participants, which I would take up now with your permission. So, so the first question we have, how do organizations deal with incorrect decisions made due to low quality data?
Yeah, so quality is very important, and data is generally generally the quality of the data is not good. Generally, if you see, we definitely find a lot of data which is like missing. There is a lot of noise in the data. So quality of the data is very important. And if we don't give the quality, if we don't process the data, if we don't, and we have a lot of tools, quality tools that are in our industry. For example, PIDQ is one. For example, Informatica has a lot of tools. So we do lot of quality we do a lot of quality measures to ensure the data is qualitative. And you have rightly said that if the data is not good, the quality of the data is not good, then there is a lot of cost that organizations incur. And so to avoid that cost, it's very important to put the uh, quality measures in place. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Absolutely, sir. Sir, another question we have, which are the popular data analytics platforms being used across organizations, and are they generic to all kinds of data?
Right. So basically, data analytics tool, it's a large landscape, I would say. So if you talk about broadly, I would say that first is there are several types here. So first is the ETL, ELT, or you can say we have to ingest the data. So there are various tools, for example, Informatica, Talent, Pentaho, Matillion, Fivetran. So there are various tools in this area. Then we have platforms which can store and which can store the data, which can process the data. The key platforms today are Snowflake and Databricks. These are the two key platforms, I think, that are doing the rounds currently. Apart from that, there are several. For example, Redshift, there are Azure Synapse, there are several over there. And then I would say that there are data consumption platforms also through which we can see the reports like Tableau, Power BI, Click. There also we have a lot of them. But yes, most of these tools, as you said, they cater to all types of the data. Most of them, initially when these tools came up, most of them were catering to relational data. But now as unstructured data like images and videos, they have become more popular and they are in majority. So most of these tools are catering to the unstructured data as well.
Absolutely. So one participant would like to know, are there some open source tools also available for ETLing?
Yes, so there are open source tools available across all these areas that I mentioned. For example, Talent is one of the tools. Although Talent has both the components, open source and the commercial one also. Similarly, there are other tools in ETL. There are tools, for example, Postgres, this is a database which is we can have in open source. Similarly, in reporting tool also, we have open source. So in all the components that I mentioned, like ETL, data warehouse, reporting, there are open source tools available. Open sourcing is also, I would like to say, it's a key thing that is most of the platforms are working on it. For example, Databricks, which is one of the top runner in terms of platforms. So they are open sourcing most of their things. For example, they have a catalog service in Databricks. They are open sourcing it. So yeah, it's one of the key things that most of the analytics companies are trying to adopt.
Absolutely, sir. So one more question we have, how are customer data privacy issues handled with?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So, data privacy, basically what we need to do is whenever we start any project, right, we first understand their data. What is the PII data, right? What is the personal, identifiable data? So that's very important. We lay out the strategy, how to handle that data, right? We employ various strategies like masking them, and then basically encrypting them. So there are a lot of strategies that we adopt. In addition to the security of the data, we also see how the data is being is basically moved across various layers. Like we have like ingestion layer, transformation layer, consumption layer. So how the data is moving, and also the data at rest. Let's say data is stored in a data lake or a data warehouse. So how the security, so we have a detailed security plan whenever we go into these projects. In fact, security becomes very important in such projects. And apart from that, like there are various regulations, for example, GDPR and all those things. So we have to create plan for that, and we handle all these things along with customer teams.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful session you have given us. The detailing and the use cases have been appreciated by all the participants. Thank you so much for this wonderful session. I think we have asked a number of queries also, and the detailed mechanism in which you have answered, the participants are quite happy with that. I would now be requesting Professor M.N. Huda, sir, to kindly present Dr. Viral Gupta, sir, a certificate and e-memento as a token of remembrance for this wonderful session today. Huda, sir? Actually, we have a parallel webinar going in the media lecture series also. Thank you so much, Viral sir. I think sir is busy in that parallel webinar, so he is unable to unmute himself at the moment. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful detailed session we have had today. Please accept this e-memento as a token of remembrance for this wonderful session.
Thank you, ma'am. And again, thank you to Huda sir and Ajay sir for giving me this opportunity. And thanks a lot for all the participants for hearing me patiently. Really, I liked this session, enjoyed my time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. The pleasure was all on our side because thank you so much for the wonderful information you have shared with us today. Please also accept the certificate as a small token of remembrance for this wonderful session.
Sure, ma'am.
So thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful session. Thank you, Ajay sir, for making it possible.
Thank you. Thank you, Ritika. And thank you, Viral.
Thank you, sir.
Dear participants, with this, we come to an end to this wonderful session today. The feedback form link for the same has already been shared with all of you. I request you all to kindly fill the same and generate your certificate of participation for today's session. Yes, dear participants, we are now towards the end of this wonderful session today. Sir has wonderfully discussed how I would say data-driven decision making is driving organizations, and I think this is the underlying factor for the success of all organizations in the present times. The feedback form link for this wonderful session today has already been shared with all the participants in the chat window. I'll request the participants, please check the chat window. We have shared the feedback form link in the same. We'll be again sharing the feedback form link, dear participants. Please click on the same. Do not copy the link somewhere because in case of copying and pasting, you may be pasting some garbled characters. So do not copy the link somewhere. Just click on the link. I have just shared the feedback form link once again for all the participants who were requesting for it. Just click on the feedback form link. Fill in your details carefully. Any mistakes you make shall directly be going into your certificate of participation. So please do not make any mistakes. Fill in your details carefully and submit the